Today is Sunday, August 24th, and this is another update on my progress of beating the S&P 500 along with Bill Ackman's Pershing Square holdings. I do make these videos every Sunday and Tuesday, so if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. As you can see, since my last update, my portfolio had a decline of 1.26%, Pershing Square had a gain of 1.15, and the S&P 500 had a gain of 0.27, which brings us year to date. My portfolio is at a gain of 25.38, Pershing Square is at a gain of 18.81, and the S&P 500 is at a gain of 10.2. And now if we take a look at the events on the schedule for this week, you'll see that on Monday we're going to get the new home sales, Tuesday is going to bring us the consumer confidence, Thursday we'll see the initial jobless claims along with pending home sales, and then definitely the most important one's going to come on Friday with the personal consumptions expenditures index. And the reason that one will be so important is because that's the Federal Reserve's favorite index to measure inflation, and then we're also going to see personal spending along with personal income that day as well. So definitely a lot going on this week, but I would say the two most important ones are going to be on Tuesday with the consumer confidence and then on Friday with the PCE index. And if we take a look at the earnings calendar for this week, you'll see that on Monday and Tuesday, there's nothing to report. And then Wednesday is definitely going to be the biggest day for earnings in which we're going to see 5 companies report. And those are going to be Kohl's, Five Below, CrowdStrike, Snowflake, and then Nvidia. If Nvidia reports good earnings after the bell on Wednesday, that should certainly bring more bullishness to the markets, especially AI-related companies. Nvidia is also my #1 holding in my portfolio, so it's going to be an important one to watch. And then on Thursday, we're going to see Petco Health and Wellness along with Ulta Beauty. And then we're going to wrap it out Friday with Alibaba. And since my last update, I did decide to increase all of my positions by 5% apiece. And I did this during the middle of the day on Thursday. And the reason that I chose to do it then was that the markets had seen a few consecutive days of losses. I had previously talked about increasing all of my positions by 10%, but I wasn't that confident that the market wouldn't keep going down. So I played it relatively safe and I decided to go with the 5% instead. And if we take a look at the SPY chart, you'll see that this blue arrow is going to indicate where I increased all of my positions by 5%. And this is going to be the few days of consecutive declines that I was referring to that caused me to do it. The other reason being that we had finally crossed below this long-term green trend line, and where the S&P 500 is trading at right now is just slightly below its all-time high. And now if we add in the 5 and the 15-day moving average, you'll see that another reason I decided to increase my positions where I did was that the SPY price had finally crossed below the 15-day moving average. And during this bull run that we've been on, there hasn't been a lot of opportunities to do that. And the way that it shapes up right now is exactly where we want it. The SPY price is above the 5-day and both of those are above the 15. So Friday was definitely nice because it was a major reversal as opposed to what we had been seeing during the previous week. And I'd say as long as that on Tuesday the consumer confidence comes in good and then on Thursday the PCE index comes in good as well, there's no reason why the market shouldn't be able to move higher. These are going to be all 14 of my current positions. Right now Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, Palantir, and Welltower make up my top 5 and those make up 38.92% of my portfolio. After increasing all of my positions by 5% apiece, that now puts me at 82.55% invested, which leaves me with 17.45 sitting in cash. Depending on how the market looks at the beginning of the week, I might increase all of my positions by another 5% again. I'd prefer to do it before Thursday to get ahead of the personal consumptions expenditures index numbers, because if that comes back good, it almost guarantees a rate cut in September, which would be very bullish for the stock market. That's going to do it for today. I do make these updates every Sunday and Tuesday, so if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you on Tuesday.